making a lot of noise at AT&T Stadium.
Anything that moves between these lines, gotta get dealt with.
10-5, and he streaks in. Deep to the post to Lamb. At the 5, to the goal line.
Dallas Cowboys Game Night is presented by AT&T. Connecting changes everything.
It was a holiday to remember for the Dallas Cowboys. Jake Ferguson and the entire Cowboys offense eating that turducken with the CBS crew after the Dallas Cowboys take down the Kansas City Chiefs. 31-28 the final score in Week 13. The Cowboys have now won 3 straight. They are 6-5-1 and above 500 for the first time this year. Welcome into Cowboys Game Night, everybody. Alongside Barry Church, Nate Newton, and Isaiah Stanback, I'm Kyle Yeomans. And gentlemen, it was a fun game to talk about all the way through. Patrick Mahomes making his first start at AT&T Stadium, but as a pro, that is. But Isaiah, when it boiled down to it, the Cowboys needed to make some plays late, and they did just that.
Yeah, man, they left my boy Nate Thomas in the back, man. He didn't get no turkey, man. But
started today. Come on,
man. They left my man in the background. But yes, the Dallas Cowboys took care of business today. Loved everything about it. There were some missed opportunities, some things that you wish you would have done better. But let's not talk about that. Let's talk about the positives. Dak Prescott played out of his mind. CeeDee Lamb, George Pickens showed up in a major way. You had other contributors on the offensive side of the ball. Flournoy. You also had Turpin. Those guys, Javonte Williams did what was asked of them. Nate Thomas stepping in and taking care of business. Defensively, you had guys show up and make plays as well. The defensive backs were asked to come play man. They did just that, and your front line continued to do what they've been doing over the past few weeks since the trade deadline. A lot of positives to build off of, some things that you got to check to get better going into next week. But overall, you'll take that dub.
Yeah, without a doubt, you'll take that dub. And to me, this was great complementary football, offensively, defensively, and in the kicking game. And what led to this victory, in my opinion, was the Dallas Cowboys, they won in the trenches. Offensively, they were able to protect Dak Prescott so he can go out there and make this offense produce. And defensively, they were able to make things hard for Patrick Mahomes out there. That's what led to the W tonight.
The others, Flournoy, Malik Davis, Jason Ferguson, guys like that, guys that don't normally make the big plays, made big plays tonight, and that was a good thing to see. And Dak, keep doing your thing, man.
Yeah, it felt like the game that happened just a couple days ago against Philadelphia. You needed everybody to win this game because Patrick Mahomes and company were coming to town, and they were hungry for a win themselves, trying to keep their playoff hopes alive as he makes his first start as a pro in AT&T Stadium. Dak Prescott and company looking to win 3 straight. We're going to start in the second quarter. Kansas City leading 14-10, but not for long. How about this? Malik Davis, added to the active roster just a couple weeks ago. He breaks free for 43 yards. Davis, with the longest run of his career, really helps the Cowboys overall because it was the biggest play from scrimmage on the ground throughout the entire day. Dallas takes a 17-14 lead into the break. We fast forward to the fourth quarter. Dallas did tack on a field goal in the third. Patrick Mahomes making plays on 4th down and goal. He finds Rashee Rice in the middle of the letters in that end zone. Kansas City retakes the lead 21-20. Dallas in need of a big play. They would find it to George Pickens. A nice swim move back outside. Then he leaps over a defender down the right sideline, gets inside the 10-yard line. Dallas driving, but it wouldn't be easy inside the 5 for the Cowboys offense. They go all the way to 3rd down and goal, and they needed a big play from Dak Prescott. They found it. Pressured off the left side. He squeaks through the hole, and he finds Javonte Williams in the flat, who does the rest. Walks into the end zone for the touchdown. Dallas retakes the lead on an individual effort from QB1, getting the job done. That'll become a theme because on the 2-point conversion, it was another individual effort from Dak Prescott as he gets out of trouble, throws a strike to the pylon where George Pickens is waiting. He gets both feet in bounds. Dallas increases their lead to 28-26. They would tack on one more field goal in the fourth, but Patrick Mahomes, never out of a game, makes an incredible play to stay on his feet, outruns Donovan Ezeraku, and finds Xavier Worthy down the field for a huge gain. That would keep the Kansas City drive going, where a couple plays later, it was Mahomes into the back of the end zone. Hollywood Brown does a toe tap of his own, gets both feet down, and Kansas City making this a game at this point in time. This is where things started to get nerve-wracking for Dallas. They were set to get the football back, and then they had to really churn some clock. It was that 4-minute drill you hear about oh so often, and they converted perfectly. 3rd down and 2. Needed a conversion. It's Dak Prescott to George Pickens again. This time for the 1st down. Pickens hangs on. Dallas goes all the way down to the 2-minute timeout, and Kansas City cannot stop the clock from that point forward. Brian Schottenheimer defeats the team that his dad coached for so long, the Kansas City Chiefs. He embraces Andy Reid at midfield. Dak Prescott and Patrick Mahomes embracing at midfield as well. Here are the final stats brought to you by Miller Lite. 31-28 the final scores. The Cowboys get a much-needed win and keep their playoff hopes alive. With a long way left, they've now defeated their last 3 opponents, including both teams that were in the Super Bowl a year ago. We've got more to wrap up from the John Madden Thanksgiving celebration and a big win for the Cowboys right after this.
This segment is brought to you by the Texas Lottery. Dallas Cowboys scratch tickets from the Texas Lottery are here. Play today.
Nobody's helping over the top over here. 3rd and 8. Here comes the blitz. Yeah, you saw it, Tony. There's Pickens, who pirouettes around the defender and takes off past Edwards. Oh, my gosh. What a leap that was. That was insane.
What a game it was for George Pickens and company. They needed a big-time play in that one to get the win. And the Cowboys, I love it, from Jim Nantz, pirouettes around the defender to get it done. And, of course, the offense continues to do their thing across the board, and that's exactly what they've continued to do. Let's hear from George Pickens and what he had to say after the game. Actually, excuse me, we're just going to talk about it here moving forward. Okay. Barry, tell me about what you liked from George Pickens.
It's just the explosiveness we've seen from this guy. And it seems like from week 1 till now, he has gotten better and better and better. He's become pretty much that security blanket to Dak Prescott out there. Whenever you need to move the chains, whenever you need a big explosive play, you can go to George Pickens out there. And it makes that team that much more dangerous because you have a guy like George Pickens on one side that can do your defense dirty. And then you also have CeeDee Lamb on the other side that can do your defense dirty. So it's given the defensive coordinators out there a mismatch nightmare. And this offense is one of the most powerful in the league right now.
Just as open field running. I mean, it's just so nice. Y'all call it yak. I'm old school. It's just open field running. It's so nice, man, to have a guy opposite CD so you can't double either one of these guys.
If you play him man press, he'll run by you, make a contested catch. If you play off, he'll run a slant route and make a contested catch. If you try to double team him, well, would you go to the other side? It just makes it very tough as a defender and a defensive coordinator to call plays that are effective for your team.
And we've talked about this a couple times throughout the year, but the connection between him and Dak Prescott is just seamless at this point. Whenever they need a big play, and you saw it in the highlights in the first segment, they're going to George Pickens. 100%. What does that say about their connection?
It's huge. I mean, in that time, a lot of people looked at it as CeeDee Lamb when he was gone. Obviously, it sucks whenever you have a player get injured. But I believe that had CeeDee Lamb not had that time away because he was recovering from injury, I don't think that this connection between Dak Prescott and George Pickens would be as unique as it is right now. So they utilized that time as effectively as possible. Had 6 touchdowns while CeeDee Lamb was gone. Now that they're back, now he has chemistry with both. You can get some, you can get some.
Without a doubt. That's what makes this offense so dangerous, in my opinion. Because like you said, you got George Pickens on one side, you got CeeDee Lamb on the other side. But don't forget about Nate's boy, Jake Ferguson, in there as well. He's a guy that can move the chains as well on the 3rd down. So there's mismatches everywhere. And when it comes down to it, it becomes a nightmare for the defensive coordinators.
Hey, Nate, did you like the way that Jake Ferguson had the hand in the turkey, though?
Definitely, man. I mean, his average per catch is up to 8 yards per catch, and I'm just excited about that.
Yeah, that's a win for Nate Newton from the entire season. There's another pass catcher that we have to talk about when we come back. CeeDee Lamb goes over 100 yards receiving in a redemption game on Thanksgiving. They needed it, he needed it, and they got it done. The Cowboys get the win, 31-28. More post-game reaction after this.
This segment was brought to you by the Texas Lottery. Dallas Cowboys scratch tickets from the Texas Lottery are here. Play today.
Cowboys get the win over the Kansas City Chiefs on this Thanksgiving, 31-28. Back with Barry Church, Nate Newton, and Isaiah Stanback. I'm Kyle Yeomans. Welcome back into Cowboys Game Night. We got to talk about CeeDee Lamb and the redemption game that he had. He had 3 drops in that win on Sunday against Philadelphia. not the same performance this time around. He goes for 7 receptions on 9 targets, 112 yards, and he had a big touchdown early in the game. It seemed like early on, Isaiah, he was on a redemption tour. That first drive, he puts up 4 receptions and looked fantastic doing it.
CeeDee Lamb hopped about the bed and turned his swag on.
Yeah.
The boy showed up to the stadium on a mission. You mentioned in a redemption game, he did not play up to his standards in week 1. He played Philadelphia again and again let himself down. There was no way he was going to go back-to-back games where he was going to have drops. He showed up in a major way when his team needed him.
Yeah, he showed up in a big-time way, and that's what the great ones do. You know, they take the challenge upon themselves to get better week in and week out, and that's exactly what CeeDee Lamb did. He had, 3 or 4 drops the other night, came back today, like Kyle just said, 7 catches, 112 yards, 1 touchdown out there. He proved that he's one of the elite wide receivers in this game, and those drops didn't faze him at all.
If you're going to be successful going forward and trying to make a run at these playoffs, you're going to need both these guys, CeeDee and George Pickens. So, hey, great to have you back, CeeDee.
And that's the thing, is it's the combo between the two. It's Mario and Luigi, and Batman and Robin, and whatever it ends up being, it's pick your poison is what it ultimately ends up looking like. How much does that give confidence to this offense, especially with Dak Prescott?
It's huge, and I'm glad that we have our combo because next week we got Sonic and Knuckles. So we got to figure out exactly what our combo is. But it gives Dak Prescott a lot of confidence, and it gives defensive coordinators nightmares as they try to prepare for the Dallas Cowboys. And we talk about the passing game. We talk about those 2 plus Jake Ferguson. That's the trifecta. But don't forget the cat in the back. We can also hand the ball off to a Javonte Williams. This offense is one of the scarier offenses in the league, not only because the statistics say so, but because of the fact that any given day, any of these guys can hurt you.
Yeah, it makes them extremely dangerous because, like we always talk about, styles make fights out here in the National Football League, and they can get into a pass-heavy type of offense out there and exploit your defense, but they can also turn around and hand the ball off to Javonte Williams out there and get busy that way. So they have plenty of styles to go out there and combat against these defenses, and like Isaiah said, it makes it a mismatch nightmare.
And that's the thing, too, is when this offense has always been firing on all cylinders, the defense needed to catch up. Well, the defense has been playing catch-up over these last couple of weeks. Big reason why they're winning football games is on the defensive side of the ball. When we come back here on Cowboys Game Night, we'll hear from some of those key defenders as the Cowboys get the win over the Chiefs, 31-28 the final.
Closed captioning is brought to you by the Texas Lottery. Cowboys scratch tickets from the Texas Lottery are here. Play today.
It's pretty cool just to get a win in general. Like I said from the beginning, I just want to do my job the best of my ability to get wins and to help this team win football games. And to get some wins, man, it's been unbelievable. So I was joking and laughing. I think this is my first time ever winning 3 games in a row. So that was a big accomplishment for me in my career. So.
You're clearly the reason for that, but I know you kind of take a lot of pride in being a Cowboy early on in your time here. What was it like to play here on Thanksgiving and set the tradition for so long in front of all these fans?
It was amazing, man. Like I said, man, I was super excited being traded here, and thank the Jets organization for getting me here, and thank this organization for taking a chance on me and trading for me, man. And when I got the call, man, it was just an unbelievable emotion, unbelievable honor to be able to play for a great organization with a lot of history and a lot of guys, a lot of playmakers. I played with Tyron Smith at the Jets, man, and to see him come in and the things he did here in itself, and now I'm playing here is super dope to be. And I look up to guys like DeMarcus Ware, man, so it's dope.
How much have you seen?
Quentin Williams saying it might be the first time he's ever won 3 games in a row. It's not, but it is the second time you've won 4 games in a row because he won the final game of his time with New York. So he's won them 4 straight, and it's only the second time he's ever done that.
On a heater.
He is on a heater. This defense has been on a heater for sure. And Nate, when you look at the way that this defense has played, it starts up front in the trenches, but how impressed have you been over the last 3 weeks?
We, at the break,
Bye week.
The bye week, we were last. All of a sudden, we probably 4 or 5 places better. In one game, after the Raiders game, we was giving up 31 points. One game was giving up 29. Yeah. So now we're probably giving up only 18. I'm telling you, I'm excited about Quentin Williams and what he's brought to this thing. Logan Wilson and all those guys in it, Overshown. bringing that energy. They are going up, and I hope they continue to do that.
Yeah, the defense is definitely trending in the right direction, and I believe it starts with that front seven. I mean, every good defense I've been a part of, we had a great defensive line and we had a great linebacking core. Right now, you see that front defensive line for the Dallas Cowboys is really eating. All right, they're really making things a lot easier for the secondary, making things a lot easier for the linebackers out there. They're allowing guys like Overshown to go sideline to sideline, and you just see him pop off of the tape, and that's because of that defensive line. And they're producing pressure from the interior, making things hard for quarterbacks out there, which is making things a lot easier for the secondary to be sticky in that coverage, and that's what you've seen these past couple weeks for the Dallas Cowboys. They just got to keep this consistency going, one game at a time, one practice at a time, whatever the case may be. But when you get out there and you need to produce, they've done so far, and it's been led by Quentin Williams.
They're disruptive.
Yeah.
That's the biggest thing. Yeah, this defensive line is disruptive now. There's no better word that I could use to describe it, no better adjective. These guys are they're disruptive in the running game. They're disrupting what you're trying to do in terms of your blocking schemes there. And then quarterbacks can't be comfortable. You saw Patrick Mahomes running for his absolute life today, all over the place. Jalen Hurts was not comfortable the week before that. The week before that, Geno Smith was all over the place. So, these guys have not been comfortable at all, and I love everything about that because when you can create havoc in the middle of an offensive line, Big Nate Dogg can attest to this, you can disrupt the entire operation of an offense.
And, of course, they're doing it in short yardage situations at the goal line, 3rd down and 1. One of the few teams this year that has stopped Kareem Hunt on a 3rd down and 1 opportunity. Plus, they gave up the 27 rushing yards against Las Vegas, 63 last week against Philadelphia. This week, 119, but still much better than what they were giving up previously. This is a much improved defense, and that's where I think the hope lies for this Cowboys team moving forward. They won 3 straight. They're going to have to win a whole lot more to squeak their way into the playoffs, but next week another test remains as they travel to Detroit. We preview that game next.
To watch more Dallas Cowboys content on your connected TV, download the Cowboys Now app on Amazon Fire, Roku, and Apple TV. Dallas Cowboys Game Night was presented by AT&T. Connecting changes everything.
Cowboys get the job done, 31-28, the final score. They improved to 6-5-1, taking down each Super Bowl representative from a year ago in a short week. They're the first NFL team to ever achieve that feat. Wrapping up Cowboys Game Night with Barry Church, Nate Newton, and Isaiah Stanback. I'm Kyle Yeomans. All right, Nate, Cowboys turn around. They play Detroit on the road next Thursday. How do they continue this momentum going into another weird week, but not a short week? It's a full week of practice.
Good rest, whirlpool, ice pool, lay around, relax, watch a little bit of film. Don't do a whole lot of running. Stay off your feet, but don't go eat too much turkey either.
Yeah, you definitely got to recover, like Nate said, and make sure you go over this film, get the corrections out there, and then you'll have a full week to get ready for Detroit. And bring your big boy pads because you got some running backs that you got to handle up there in Detroit. But make sure you recover and get ready for the ball game.
Everything that these guys just said, plus uses additional time to prepare via film. Not only just watch what you just did tonight, but go watch your opponent. Watch 3, 4, 5 games back. Look at the analytics. Look at their tendencies. Try to find something that gives you an edge to be able to have half a step better or be able to identify and recognize what they're doing because this team throws a lot at you. You need to try to pick up any kind of indicator that gives you an advantage.
One of the things that you cover when you cover the entire NFL or these other 31 teams out there, how good is Detroit despite losing today against Green Bay?
Detroit's really good. Detroit's really good. They're a really good team. There's a talented team that's all across the board, and they play all the way to the whistle. That's the one thing that you can't account for is their will and determination.
And they're at 7-5. They've got a really tough division in front of them as well. They are also down to the wire in terms of their playoff hopes as well. The Cowboys have a phenomenal Thanksgiving CD lamb, much better than the turkey that we wait for on Thanksgiving. 31-28 the final over the Kansas City Chiefs. For our entire Dallas Cowboys crew, I'm Kyle Yeoman saying so long from Cowboys Game Night. We'll see you later in the week.